Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tool you may have at your command. Napoleon Hill. How many times have you held back from pursuing your dreams because you felt you weren't ready? Maybe you told yourself, I need more money, or I need more time, or I need more connections. But what if I told you that everything you need to begin your journey is already within you? Yes, right now, at this very moment, you have the power to take that first step towards success. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for perfect conditions. We dream of building a business, starting a new career, or writing a book, but we hold ourselves back because we think we are not enough. But the truth is, those who achieve greatness never start with perfection. They start with passion, faith, and whatever little resources they have. Look at the story of Cosmas Maduka, for instance. Born into a poor family in Nigeria, he had nothing more than the equivalent of 0.77 cents when his uncle wrongfully fired him. Most people would have given up in despair, but instead of letting his circumstances define him, he used a small amount to start selling spare parts. Over time, through perseverance and hard work, he built a billion-dollar business empire. His company, Cosmas Group, became one of the biggest conglomerates in Africa. He didn't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal capital. He started with what he had, and that was enough. Talking about people who started in the most uncomfortable circumstances, let's look at Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. He didn't start his famous fried chicken business until he was 65 years old. All he had was a recipe and a dream. He knocked on door after door, facing rejection after rejection, but he kept going. He believed in what he had, that is his unique recipe, and that belief eventually led him to build a global franchise. Here is the truth: you don't need everything figured out to start. You don't need millions of dollars in funding, a fancy title, or a perfect plan. What you need is the courage to take the very first step with what is already in your hands. Maybe it's a skill you've been taking for granted. Maybe it's a passion you've ignored for too long. Whatever it is, you must recognize its value and use it to create your path forward. You may be thinking your situation is even worse. Let's look at J.K. Rowling. She wrote her first Harry Potter book while living on government welfare. She didn't have wealth or status, but she had a pen, paper, and an unstoppable imagination. She sent her manuscript to 12 publishers, and every single one of them rejected her. But she didn't give up. She believed in her story, and with perseverance, she finally got published. Today, she is the first billionaire author in the world. She started with what she had, her words and a dream, and that was enough. Starting with what you have doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean you will succeed overnight, but it does mean you will begin to move forward. Every small step counts. Every bit of progress matters. Too often, people are paralyzed by the fear of failure. But what they don't realize is that failing to start is the greatest failure of all. Here is another example: Shania Twain, one of the best-selling female artists in country music history, started her singing career as a child, performing in bars to help her family make ends meet. Her family was so poor that sometimes they didn't have enough food to eat. Yet, she used her voice, the only thing she had, to create a better future. She didn't wait for someone to hand her an opportunity. She made her own. So what's stopping you from taking the first step? Is it fear of not being good enough? Is it the doubt that whispers you don't have what it takes? Remember this: those doubts will never go away entirely, but they don't have to control your actions. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, start where you are with what you have. You will learn as you go. You will grow stronger with every challenge you overcome. The road to success is not a smooth highway. It is a rugged path filled with twists, turns, and obstacles. But that's what makes the journey worthwhile. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your dream. You might have failed so many times and may be thinking that that is all, you can't do anything better. Let's look at how Akio Morita founded Sony. His first invention was a rice cooker that couldn't even cook rice properly. It burnt it. But instead of giving up, he learned from that failure. He kept experimenting until he created something revolutionary, the world's first portable transistor radio. He started with limited resources, but his relentless determination turned Sony into one of the world's most iconic brands. Don't focus on what you lack, focus on what you have. You have talents, passions, experiences, and unique qualities that no one else possesses. Use them. Start small but dream big. The journey may be long, but every step you take will bring you closer to your destination. Imagine if Walt Disney had given up after being fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. Imagine if Manny Pacquiao had accepted a life of poverty instead of using his skills in boxing to become one of the greatest boxers of all time. Imagine if all these people had waited for the perfect moment to start. The world would have missed out on their greatness. So what's your excuse? Don't let fear, doubt, or lack of resources hold you back. Instead, make the most of what you have today. That idea in your mind, that skills you've been honing, that small amount of savings is all you need to begin. The power of starting with what you have lies in your ability to see beyond your limitations. It's about having the courage to take action even when the path isn't clear. It's about believing that small beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Today is your day to start, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Whatever dream you have, take the first step, write that first page, make that first call, begin that project, use what you have, and watch how doors begin to open. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That step may seem small, but it's the start of something incredible. Believe in yourself and start with what you have, because what you have is enough. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. This has been Bernard and you're watching Ben Express. Be inspired and never give up.